Conan, did you watch SmackDown?
Yes, I did.
I'm. I don't get. Okay, so the show, the show's numbers don't really suffer that much, right? On SmackDown for some reason, but I'm very surprised that the way they format this, bro. This is 2 weeks in a row that they've taken like the Usos and they put them at the like. This is a main event match. Like the Usos have got like the record for the most days as champions. They have a tag team title match. It's like, why is this the first match on the show and not the main event? That's weird to me. It's kind of weird how wrestling. You would think that like.
Yeah, you want to end with the hottest thing.
I mean, just follow kind of like a more traditional format. I think they're overthinking themselves and thinking like that they're trying to analyze this show as like, what ratings can we do here? Something instead of the traditional format of professional wrestling, where basically you watch a show and you build the card up into the main event. Like there's a decent match to start, then a better one after that, then a better one after that. Like you build to the main event.
Yeah,
and it's like that format is kind of like. And it's kind of weird too, bro. Because
it's like a movie. You don't put everything the best parts at the beginning.
I'm aware of that, right? So then it's but here's the weird thing. You look at the quarter hours, and like all these wrestling shows drop from the time they start to the time they finish.
Right.
And I'm like, and you guys are putting some of your best stuff on first and your worst stuff on last.
Right.
I'm like, what is you? I mean, I'm just like, it seems to me like that's a simplistic formula that can easily be corrected. Where your best match is your main event, the biggest drawing, like the biggest thing you're going to do on your show. But instead, they put them in random spots in these shows. I don't know, but this was a good match. The Bloodline members are out there. Ridge Holland's out there. They did a deal where they keep doing this. Remember how we talked about like this is a recurring theme. They're constantly winning on these blind tags. Have you noticed that, Conan?
Yeah.
Like the blind tag spot constantly.
Well, that seems to be like their MO.
Exactly, which is not bad, because like it's like they sneak a win, and then it's very clever. And Sami Zayn grabbed Sheamus tried to make the save. Zayn grabbed him, and basically this was long, but it was decent. The Usos always have very good matches. So any comment on this? They beat him. So
let me see what I got here. Sami Zayn and Solo came out with Sammy's so entertaining because he's a hype man and he's dancing and he's going nuts. Doesn't matter what you do, he's always a scene stealer. And then Ridge Holland came out with the Brutes. Like you said, another great match. Sheamus has been incredible. I used to bury him all the time to the point that he actually got in my face once about it. And all I can say now is, man, great job, big man. And he's super over, know. And Zayn helping the Usos at the end helps further the storyline. And it protects the babyface from a clean loss. Right. It was a great way to start the show. But I agree with you. They should end it with this. Right. Great match, There was one part where Butch, he did that Sheamus thing, where he hits him on the chest, and the place went nuts.
Yeah.
They really liked that. So, yeah, really good way to start the show and really good match.
Kurt Angle was walking backstage and showed I was with Gable Stevenson. Braun Strowman greeted Angle, who introduced him to Stevenson. Strowman said he knew that Stevenson was training at the WWE Performance Center. He told him with a smile on his face that he could get these hands once he's ready. And Stevenson said he'd call him once he gets out of the PC. This is when I watched this, okay, I got the feeling that this Gable Stevenson, like for some reason that they had like that was like about the sixth take that they did on that.
Really?
Because it was very contrived. It was like it's like a scripted segment backstage, I just didn't. I don't know. Gable Stevenson did not come across impressive at all.
Did you know? And I'm not saying this to correct you, Di, but it's Gable Stevenson. I thought it was Stevenson. I thought it was Stevenson too, but I went to go Google it and see whether there's any news recently. And
no, it's spelled like that, but you pronounce it Stevenson.
Stevenson? Okay, all right, I got you.
I don't know. Yeah. I haven't heard. I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, it's stupid. I was just like, wow, I thought it was Stevenson.
Yeah. So LA Knight comes out. And he stood in the ring and delivered a promo. He said, "Bray Wyatt, figures your puppets would do that." Knight said when the fans cheered. And Knight said it's obvious that he struck a nerve and struck fear in Wyatt. He says he's been blindsided multiple times and Wyatt denies responsibility. And Knight said he knew it was Wyatt and had footage there that he claimed to prove it. And they showed all the footage with him and with the masks in the background. And then Uncle Howdy footage interrupted Knight, and a distorted voice said to do it now. He deserves to suffer. Knight watched it on the big screen and said that if you need more evidence, you'd have to be a cross-eyed halfwit to not know that it was him. And Knight said he was going to the back to find Wyatt, and Knight left the ring and started heading to the back. And Barrett said he's a big fan of Knight, but he's messing with forces that he doesn't understand. I'm losing interest in the Bray Wyatt stuff already, because I think this is just they drag this stuff out like so long and epic, and it's just I don't know. I'm not. They need to do something here, because this is making LA Knight look stupid. Like he said, like we know Bray Wyatt's the guy that attacked me. They're making a big production. I'll prove that you attacked me. Look at this. This is all silly. I don't like it. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not. They haven't lost me yet. There have been a couple promos by this guy, as he said, he talks in circles, and they weren't that good. But I'm still invested. I like, that how they showed the mask that Wyatt wore at Extreme Rules in the background. Remember when he was showing the evidence, LA Knight?
Yes. I
like that. I like those little nuances where Knight's pointing out the mask in the background, that Wyatt is involved. I like the little video of Uncle Howdy Doody or whatever his name is urging Wyatt to do it, and that Knight deserves it. I liked all that, and then in the second Howdy Doody video, you hear a woman's voice in the background. I don't know if it's Alexa Bliss, but after what happened in her match, it probably was. Yeah. So I am liking, because they have little Easter eggs that you have to kind of catch. So that's kind of piquing my interest.
Backstage, they're interviewing Legado del Fantasma. Then in the background, we hear Shotzi screaming, and Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey are walking away. So I guess they beat her up.
I know I say this all the time, but Legado and Zelina just look like stars. The other two just look like they know how to dress good, but they don't look like stars.
Right, and Liv Morgan and Tegan Nox showed up, and Baszler told them, if you mess with the bull, you get the horns. So then we go to a match, Joaquin and Cruz del Toro against the Viking Raiders, and then all of a sudden the Top Dollar and all those guys showed up, and they're hitting them with chairs, and they're hitting the Viking Raiders with chairs. This guy, bro, this dude, the big guy kind of comes across as very, very, very green.
Right.
Like he doesn't really know how to get fire or anything, just like he kind of did the indie thing. Like, he hit the guy with a chair, and instead of like getting fire, he kind of like walked around, right. Didn't really have much of an expression. It's like, right. I don't like, these guys don't really have a lot of personality, no. Like when it's
just coming out,
right.
Just coming out.
And this was completely flat too. So the crowd didn't care at all. So then LA Knight enters a block room backstage and found a Bray Wyatt T-shirt, and the lights went out. And then
let me see, because I wanted to tell you something about this match. That was the what? Oh, you didn't talk about him. Did you talk about a match?
Who?
Oh yeah, Legado Fantastic. Oh no,
you talked about promo. I think it was 1 minute until then they.
You're talking about the running thing with
Yeah, Top Dollar.
Right. What am I looking at? Oh, I'm looking at Raw. That's why.
Oh.
My bad. Okay, yeah. So the Viking Warriors come back. They come back with the girl. I don't know what. I think it's Valhalla or something.
All
right. And so obviously we're gonna have a 3-way thing between Legado Fantasma and Hit Row. What I didn't like about Hit Row was when the Viking Warriors interfered last week or the week before, and they just left them laying. Bro, they went in there and they mobbed them. They brawled them. It was like a squash match, right? These guys were doing wrestling moves, It's like, I don't think wrestling moves really are applicable when you're in like a feud, maybe one, right. but everything was kind of a wrestling move. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, okay, that's what I wanted to say this.
So LA Knight comes in the locker room and he found a Wyatt T-shirt and the lights went on. And when he turned his cell phone on, discovered that there was a masked man in the room with him. They go to break. Then they show Angle. He's introducing Stevenson to Nakamura, Madcap, and Emma. And a guy hands him Angle a card, and the camera pulled back and shows it was Jason Jordan, who many years ago the Angle was supposed to be. He was like Kurt Angle's son, supposedly, in storyline purposes, whatever. So then Ricochet makes his entrance, and the Imperium make their entrance. Adam Pearce was on the ring and had both men take a seat. The contract. They're doing a contract signing for their match, right? So Kofi and Xavier come out and interrupt the contract signing. Woods told Pearce they were sorry for interrupting. They want to make sure they had a front row seat for what was happening. He said he knows how contract signings go and assumed that Imperium would attack Ricochet. But Woods worked in a plug for the NXT Tag Time title match on NXT's Deadline show this week. And Woods said if Imperium went after Ricochet, then they could put a whooping on him. Pierce asked if they really thought that would happen, and Woods asked Pierce if he's ever watched wrestling. Good point, Pierce said.
That was a good line.
Ricochet signed the contract. The New Day Rock champ broke out, and Gunther told Ricochet that he wants him to remember that he's the person who took the title off him. Gunther said he's beaten Ricochet twice. He's proved he's not worthy of being Intercontinental Champion, and Gunther said he would beat him again next week. And Gunther said the difference between Imperium and the other three is that they're professional wrestlers, not performers. That's how he spoke. Ricochet asked if he heard Gunther say that Imperium had a problem performing, and the babyfaces got the crowd to chant, Imperium can't perform. Bro, these New Day segments always go south because they always turn into childish stuff, you know? Ricochet stood up and told Gunther he's in for the fight of his life, and Ricochet said he won't quit, and everyone will see him win the Intercontinental title. And Gunther stood up and tossed the contract signing table to ringside while the babyfaces cleared the chairs, and then they go to a match. It's a 6-man match, 19 minutes. And Ricochet, Kingston, and Xavier beat them. And after the match, Ricochet approached Gunther, stood in the apron, and stared at him. This was like 30 minutes of TV. This stuff,
right?
Yeah, and I was like, you know, it could have ended a lot sooner. I don't know why they had to go 19 minutes. So,
well, the match was very, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, the heels got a lot of heat, you know, by making sure Woods and Kingston, you know, they put heat on them. You know, it was really well laid out. They're obviously giving Ricochet a renewed push by giving him the world title and all these other things, and good because Ricochet is about as talented as anybody in that promotion. He hasn't even done half he can do. This guy's incredible. And so I think so he beats him because I guess next week they're going to face each other. I think in a pay-per-view or something.
Yeah, no, it's just a regular title match on SmackDown.
Right, and so the match will be great. I don't think Ricochet will win, but the match will be great.
Backstage, Gable and Rose tried to join the Angle party, but a man told them they were not on the list. Street Profits showed up. They taunted the Alpha Academy, and this is they've gotten back to doing some silly comedy, right? That's entertaining. So then they show the Usos and Sami Zayn celebrating in the locker room with Solo Sikoa sat with his arms crossed, and Zayn suggested they get dinner. Jimmy and Sikoa got up and walked away, but Jay had Zayn stay behind, and Jay told Zayn that Roman's coming next week and suggested he trim his hair and beard. That
was weird.
Zayn wondered why, and Jay told him after War Games he believes next week will be a big week for Zayn. I don't know what it's interesting.
I like it. He said use a 3 clip on that. Give it a 3 clip.
Yeah. Cole said he would be wearing jorts in 3 weeks.
Was that funny to you, Joe?
John Cena
being a bald man that always uses clippers. Yeah, I liked that.
Rey Mysterio was shown working with the trainer in the backstage area, and Cross and Scarlett showed up. And the trainer called for security, but Cross said it wasn't going to be like that. Cross spoke to Rey about what happened with Dominic and how Rey came to SmackDown for a fresh start. And Cross noted that Scarlett is from Romania and said life could be tough for people who live there. He related a story. He said Scarlett told him about her family's thoroughbred horse that went from being a champion to being a workhorse and eventually couldn't go anymore. Cross recalled Scarlett telling him the horse had a look in his eye once it realized that it was useless. And Cross said it's always sad when an animal has to be put out of its misery. Security arrived and asked if there was a problem, and Cross said no, then told Ray to look at the time. And he closed with his usual tick-tock. I thought this was good. I like Cross doing stuff like this.
Yeah. That's why this was very good. Anybody that don't see the star in it, bro, him and Scarlett look like movie stars just standing there. I'm not even going to talk about the promo,
right?
You know. And he brought up what I told you the other day. He says she's from Romania,
right?
You know. But anyways, Cross is a beast, bro. Any line they give him, any scene they give him, he eats it up. He's just a natural actor, you know. And she's hot just standing there.
Right.
And his jacket was money too.
So this was the main event. Ronda and Shayna Baszler against Liv Morgan and Tegan Nox. So during the match, Raquel Rodriguez comes out with her arm in a brace, tried to get in the ring, but she was stopped by Pierce and other producers. While the broadcast team explained she's not medically cleared, and Rousey dropped off the apron, then Pierce stood between her and Rodriguez. Meanwhile, Nox in the ring hit Baszler with a shining wizard, and then Morgan pinned Baszler. So it was like 4 minutes. That was that. And, you know, whatever.
So you're debuting Nox, but she doesn't get the win on the babyface team that is winning? Morgan didn't need the win.
Well, she hit the move, I guess, but Morgan got the pin. But she should have gotten the pin, you're right.
Right, she hit the move also.
Right. So then they're doing the curtain. I'm not even going to go over this. This was silly comedy. Angle comes out. They bring out the Otis and the Alpha Academy. And basically, it breaks down to they bring the truck out and they spray him with milk at the end, and that's
Okay, let me just say one more thing about the girls' match. Thank God they didn't end it as the main event because they wouldn't have been able to deliver. Raquel Rodriguez came out again, and she means absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Knox is a good worker, but does not look like a star. Okay. Right. The main event was, it was just a, nostalgia callback. It was kind of fun to see again. It was cheesy, but entertaining.
Right.
Let me just say this real quick. This is for Michael Cole, by the way.
What do you say?
And that ring is for Durbin.
Right. What did Michael Cole say, by the way?
Since they were doing the milk thing, Cole goes, the Alpha Academy better move. Move.
Oh, no.
Okay, wait a minute.
I mean, what?
Wait a minute. He had two more. Angle is milking this for all it's worth, and this is utterly ridiculous. Okay, so you get Kazoot on all three, Cole. This is the main event, by the way.
Yeah.
Right.
There was just, like they said, the Kurt Angle thing. So that was our SmackDown review.
That's for Durbin again.
Good. So that's our SmackDown review.
Enjoy the rest of the show. Let me see what
was the number, Joe? But they didn't do like 2.3 million. It did a good number again, and I was not impressed with the show. So,
SmackDown on their return to Fox did 2.306 million.
Nice, yeah. You figured it would. Whenever they're off the network, the following week, the people come back in bigger numbers from before because they missed a week. So.